Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of March 20th. This week, we're just going to jump right in here, Sag. And you have this card that says, don't allow a scarcity mindset to limit your success. And you have the Queen of Swords popping up here as well. Queen of Swords, she doesn't really represent a scarcity mindset, but she kind of does at the same time. And I will tell you why. Because she normally has, that sword up, but she has her hand out. It's like she's kind of willing to receive, but she's also being defensive about the situation, like whatever it is that she is potentially receiving. But the trick with the Queen of Swords is that she actually has all the clarity that she needs. She has no clouds above her head. And so she understands the situation perfectly. You also have this See an Enemy card, and it says protection, codependency. So you could be trying to protect yourself, and I would never suggest that you don't protect yourself, of course. But, I feel like you need to realize that you have learned from past situations. You actually have the clarity. So there's really no need to be defensive as long as you're paying attention to the things that you didn't pay attention to, like in the last relationship, for example, or in the last business that failed, So I think as long as we're paying attention, we're fine. There's no reason to, be defensive. And I kind of feel like you have a bunch of repeating cards here. Well, not repeating, but you keep, these two want to come out, two wanted to come out here. So what I would say here is that, and sorry, some of these cards are reversed. I don't read reversals. But what I would say here is that, again, for some of you, I feel like this whole entire reading is encouraging you to open up here. And again, I also feel it's encouraging, kind of like an abundance mindset, which, of course, I'm a big fan of having an abundance mindset. I do feel it's kind of saying also don't settle for situations. There are plenty of people who are out there who will date you and stuff like that, especially if this is a love situation. What I would say, actually, I'll show you here. You have the Seven of Swords, but you also have the Queen and King of Swords. I do not like the King and Queen of Swords together. To me, they're the worst divine counterparts. Normally, the King of Swords is facing like forward, and the Queen of Swords is facing towards the future, but usually in a reading, the whole point is they're not facing each other. And what I would say here is that I feel for some of you, I would be careful of like a past person. This to me kind of gives me the vibes of like two people who are, kind of blocking each other, or two people who are being cold to each other. But I feel like there's no reason to play that game because it's like there's something new, something warm, exciting. Like, look at how happy this guy looks right here. Something more enthusiastic. Again, I think this is, the funny thing is that this isn't your card necessarily, but I kind of feel like this is more your nature, if that makes sense here, Sagittarius. It's like you are more, I think your highest vibration version, whatever you want to call it, is more enthusiastic, adventurous, kind of more like this guy, just like a golden retriever, right? It's like you're like the golden retriever of the zodiac, and I feel like some of you, this is kind of like saying that either you need to get back to that energy or that you are. I'm not sure exactly which one it is yet, because I kind of feel like a little bit of prickliness here. Maybe you're just being a little bit defensive. And again, not a criticism. I think that maybe there's a good reason that you're, being a little bit defensive. But again, I feel like you're kind of, that's like something from the past. I feel like you're more focused on the future. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Queen of Swords, basically the universe saying I meant what I said. I feel like you've maybe learned to trust your intuition. You've learned not to rush into things. You've learned to take the truth, right? You have the Justice card and the Sun. The Justice card is cause and effect. Like if you invest in a relationship, what do you get back? If you invest in a business, what do you get back? And the Sun is obvious. The Sun represents something being obvious. It says that like, usually, people get into a relationship and, like, one person is maybe overgiving, especially as spiritual people. I think we're super bad at giving too much, right? We overgive. And I think this is saying, like, maybe you've learned that you can't overgive because people will take advantage of it. But also, I feel like maybe you've learned to pay attention to the obvious. If a person tells you they cheated on their last partner, they're probably going to cheat again. If a person, tells you who you are, I believe people tell us exactly who they are. I think back to all my past relationships, and the only person I can blame is myself, because every single person I've ever been with has told me exactly who they are right away, without fail. And that does not mean again, I always tell people, I believe we are here to have experiences. I don't regret any one of them. And I also would say I would probably date them all over again, right? If I were to be able to relive my life, because again, I personally believe that experiences are extremely valuable. But what I would say is that what I don't do is I don't repeat lessons. And I feel like that's what this is saying. It's like saying, you've learned these lessons, great, that's the whole point of life, but now, pay attention to the obvious, because these things usually are obvious. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Seven of Pentacles, a little bit of fear. This is what this is. To me, 2 sevens is internal fears that don't exist, Sagittarius. So I do feel it's time to kind of, let go of the fears, let go of the worries with the Seven of Swords. 2 sevens, again, sorry, wrong camera. 2 sevens, to me, is internal fears that don't exist, so let your fears go. Seven of Pentacles also says, is the juice worth the squeeze? So I feel like you're ready for a new beginning. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Justice card, again. And so, again, I feel like you've learned what to pay attention to. I feel like you've learned not to rush right into things. I feel like you've learned to follow the rules of cause and effect. Like I've been saying all year, for like 3 years actually, to me, the answer to the rest of your life based off of astrology is the Justice card, is cause and effect. We had Pluto in Capricorn, we had Saturn in Capricorn a few years ago now, and back in 2016. And what I would say is that this Capricorn energy, I believe, was really brought into the world, or we're here to, learn efficiency. And what I would say with the Justice card is that one of the major lessons I think all of us have learned is to pay attention to that kind of nice little tennis match in life. I'm not just talking about love. I'm talking about business as well, and work and career, and even your health, right? It's like we have to balance those things out. It's like, obviously, you can't work out all day long every single day with the maximum amount of weight, right? Science has proven that we need recovery periods as well. So it's like we have to do everything in balance. And, I kind of feel that has been a major lesson for you for a long time, and I feel like you're getting it, which is obviously a good thing. Next, in the area of the unexpected, you have the Sea Anemone. It says protection, codependency. I kind of feel for some of you that there could be a choice between 2 people, and I feel like you need to, there's no other way to say it. I'm just going to say it, Sagittarius. I wasn't going to say it, but I'm just going to say it. I feel like one person is very codependent, could be a Pisces here, but it doesn't have to be. I feel it's just a person who's like secretive. I feel like you get a weird vibe from this person, so I'm not too worried about it. If you're picking between 2 people, again, I think that High Priestess here is like, I feel like you get like a weird, sneaky vibe from this type of energy, right? And so I would be careful. Going this way, much, much better. I actually feel like this could be a past person, but I also feel there's a new person here that is embracing this energy, probably a fire sign, because you go up to the sun, which would be Leo, but I think it could be any fire sign. I'm pretty sure lately you've been getting fire in your readings as well, but I think it's someone who's mature. I think they can very easily display maturity as well, going to the Justice card. It's like there's no guessing with this person. And again, it doesn't matter what gender you're interested in. This is a general reading, but I feel like it's like very obvious. That's the thing I want to tell you. And maybe that's part of the problem here, if this is a love reading for you, is maybe sometimes I think things are almost like too obvious, so then we start to question it. We're like, is this like too good to be true? But again, I would just pay attention to actions. Does this person say something and they actually do it? If the answer is yes, keep going. But again, I think it will be obvious. I think one person's sneaky. I don't really have a good example of like how this person is sneaky. It's almost like I think they just kiss ass too much is what I would say to you here with that, with that High Priestess energy. It's like they're too, I think they're just too much of a kiss ass, let's put it that way. I think there's no edge to this person. I think they're soft just in general. There's no other way to say it. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think this person is soft. And, again, if you're into masculine men, for example, they're not masculine at all. I don't think they have an ounce of masculinity. And I'm not criticizing anything here. But again, maybe that's what you're into. We all have preferences, right? And, but it could be the other way around. Take it how it resonates. And there's something off here. So I really feel this reading is saying trust your gut, especially as far as people are concerned. You have the Fool here, and I feel like this is saying, it's time to take a risk. I feel like it's time for you to take some sort of leap of faith. I do feel this could be towards something that balances out your life, and I do feel it's financial. It's kind of interesting that, these 2 cards I think are talking about love. This card here, the Fool, I feel like is talking about you doing something new financially. We even go here. This is the area of the good stuff. So it doesn't matter what shows up in this row, but you have the Four of Swords and the Two of Swords. You know, the Four of Swords is a card of hoping for blessings. That Two of Swords is about kind of like making a decision. Sometimes I feel the Two of Swords represents like a third option where you could be picking between two things, but there's actually that island behind her, which represents like a new island on the Two of Swords, and it represents somewhere she's never been before. It actually represents an obstacle, but it's not like a bad obstacle. There are some good obstacles in life, like going to college is a good obstacle. It's a pain. You have to go, you're going to school for like 4 more years or whatever you do. So it's like a little bit of an obstacle, but it leads to a reward. That's how I look at the Two of Swords. It's like there's like a little thing, you know, maybe you have to overcome school, going back to school, getting some sort of training in career or business, or dating a new person can be an obstacle because it's like, you know, I think the whole thing with dating is like you're learning a new person again. It's like, especially if you've had to do that multiple times where you have to learn a person, sometimes I think that gets a little bit tiring, like that, the process of learning a new person, right? So it looks to me like there's like a good obstacle like that entering into your life, but I actually feel like it's going to pay off. And I feel the Fool is encouraging you to take the risk. I'm telling you right now, this sneaky person here, I would be very careful with that High Priestess. I don't trust this person. You know, here's the thing. I think this is a new person. It's like the way that they present themselves. I just see it in my head. You know what I mean? It's like a used car salesman, but it's like they're too fake. I don't really have any good examples for you. You know, is what I would say. Not any that I can say on YouTube. I'll put it that way. But it's almost like they're just too try hard. And I think, again, I want to stress that I think you will pick up on this very quickly, but also trust it. It's like maybe you're kind of going back and forth. You're like, I can maybe trust this person. No. Plain and simple, I don't like that at all, period. With the Fool, you have the Queen of Pentacles. I told you money on the Fool card. There's something is changing in your finances here. I feel like your finances are going to be growing. It's not going to happen overnight, and I do feel it is the result of, like I said, Two of Swords, like a third place solution is what I call them. So if you're trying to pick between two jobs and it just isn't feeling right, I would go towards something else, Sagittarius. I really feel you trust your feelings here. And it could be something completely different. Or again, like I said, there's probably something where you have to like get a training, or maybe you have to get a certification, like becoming a real estate agent or something like that. You know, it could be any of those things, but I would do it, whatever it is. With the King of Swords, yes, much better. Are you kidding? You have the Six of Cups. A lot of readers read this as a person from the past. As I always say, if you read any tarot book, you know, at all, basically, about the Six of Cups, it says, do not get stuck in nostalgia. I thought I had it. I don't. But one of my favorite books of all time is from the Golden Tarot. And in the Golden Tarot, it literally says, do not get stuck in nostalgia, meaning, like, do not get stuck in the past. What I feel here is I do believe this is a card of a soulmate. So there's clearly like a soulmate coming in for you, much better, and literally going this direction. It's like this reading is just, you know, more or less proving everything I said. So there you go. Next, you have this 7th house card. It says relationship on it. I feel like this could be all relationships being important for you this week. You even have the 3 of Cups here. And the 3 of Cups is a card that, you know, can represent like your community, like the people around you. It could be a community that you belong to, or it could be, you know, just a group of people that you know. And so I feel there could be a lot of benefits here with the 3 of Cups, especially if you're like having a new beginning. The Magician here can represent just having a new beginning, and I feel there could be a lot of people who want to assist you. I also would say that this person here probably wants to rush, so that could be another clue for you that this person is not the right person. It's like they want to move too quickly, so I would be careful of anyone who's rushing into your life. What I would say, though, is that going from here, the Knight of Swords to the 2 of Cups, I do feel like when something works, it's just going to work with the 2 of Cups. And this doesn't even have to just be love. You know, the 2 of Cups can be you and your higher self. I always say that the 2 of Cups can be your higher self, like trying to communicate with you or guide you in some way. And there's something here, Sagittarius, about the obvious. Like I keep saying on this Sun card, that's all I'm getting. It's like, and the reason I feel this is so important is because I think you're questioning it. And trust me, I've done this in life where it's like, I'm like, no, that's too easy. That's too obvious. I can't trust it. But actually you can. And so I feel like you really need to kind of trust just exactly what you see and exactly what you feel this week with that Sun. It could be in any area of your life. But I really do feel like it's like your higher self is like saying, pay attention to this. I always say like a down and dirty way to read tarot with the sun is it's almost like a spotlight. Like it's shining a light on something that needs attention in your life. That's like how you can read the sun. And, I would pay attention to those things that are kind of like capturing your attention this week. I think the problem with us modern day people, right, is that maybe we feel like we want to play ping pong all day. And that's where our attention is going. But then it's like the, modern day mindset of like, oh no, I can't play ping pong all day because I have to go to my career. I have to go drive 2 hours to work and then 2 hours home. So I don't have enough time to do these things. Right. And I think over the next, for the rest of your life, there are going to be a lot of challenges for people who do that, who don't listen to their intuition, who don't follow like the spotlights in life, the things that they actually really feel like doing. And it's a very complex thing because again, people always say to me, yeah, but I have to work. I have to support myself. I totally understand. Like I totally get it. But at the same time, it's like, is there a way you can break free? Is there something else you can do? Can you downsize, start playing ping pong all day? Then you never know. Maybe you become a ping pong champion and you become a millionaire, right? It's like, because maybe you become famous or maybe you win some sort of ping pong tournament. Again, I don't know. If there was ever a time where crazy stuff could happen, it'd be right now. I keep saying this because of Neptune and Pisces. Neptune and Pisces is bonkers. Pluto and Aquarius is absolutely nuts. You will see things that you never thought possible happening over the next 20 years with Pluto and Aquarius. So I keep encouraging people. Again, don't be one of those people who gets left behind. I get all these comments, and I'm not making a comment about the comments, but I'm just saying, I get a lot of people who say, you say the same thing about Pluto and Aquarius. I'm like, yeah, well, it's like, okay, like, don't make a change and see what happens. The reason I say it all the time is because it's, like, critically important. It's critically important, I think, that we move towards these crazy ideas. Here you go with the Knight of Swords. No, big fat no for this person right here, this untrustworthy weirdo. No. With the two of Cups, you have the Nine of Pentacles. I feel like you need to trust yourself, trust your intuition. Nine of Pentacles is a card of not over-investing as well. She normally has 6 pentacles on one side, 3 pentacles on the other. She keeps 6 pentacles for herself, and she's willing to invest she keeps 6 for herself. I don't know what I just said, and she's willing to invest 3 pentacles into a situation. Those pentacles don't have to be money. It could just be her energy, her effort, her time. And so I feel it's really saying, like, any new beginnings that you're having, love or otherwise, doesn't matter, make sure you're kind of not over investing. The Magician also kind of says, like, make sure to use some of your other tools. Like maybe you have a habit of like, I'm not saying love bombing, but maybe you give a lot of love to a person that you're in a relationship with. And I'm not suggesting that you don't give them love, but it's like maybe there are other things that, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe there's other things, so maybe it doesn't have to be all this lovey-dovey stuff. Maybe it can be quality time, or maybe just reaching out to them during the day. It's like I feel like there are different things you can do that are kind of like different than what you normally do, and it is a weird message that I'm getting, but I would just do it with that Magician. With the Three of Cups, you have the Judgment card. What are you waking up to here? I feel like you're waking up to something. I have to clarify that right away. What are you waking up to? Well, love. So I feel like some of you could be waking up to true love. I also feel like you could be waking up to something that kind of like sets your heart free. And that's like the time that we're in. Uranus and Taurus wants us to be free. Sagittarius, Uranus and Taurus wants us to focus on our heart as well. Like the things that our heart is telling us to do, our true purpose, not, like I said, driving 4 hours both ways to a job that we hate. So, and that's just one example. There's a million, right? So I would follow your heart. You could be waking up to that this week. Finally, in the area of the good stuff, you have this mystic circle. It says your abilities will be enhanced. Yeah, definitely. It doesn't matter what shows up here. It's going to be positive no matter what. I feel like your intuition is on point, and that is probably why this is coming up, because I feel, again, obvious energy with that Sun card. I also feel like justice is going to be very obvious with people as far as people are concerned. It's like not even just in love, but all people that you're dealing with. I feel the equal give and take thing you'll be able to pick up on it very quickly. So make sure to pay attention to that. I also do feel there could be like it's almost like you're getting karma in a relationship, but not like you think. I think with the karma that you're receiving this direction is a King of Swords. It's like you're just attracting a good person. It's almost like you're being rewarded for things that you've been through. Next, you have the Two of Swords and the Four of Swords coming up together. Again, this is going to be good no matter what. So I feel like you are discovering a third place solution with that Two of Swords, which is like something that maybe you've been not able to find for a long time. So especially for those of you that have been stuck in like work or business, or maybe you've been unsure what changes to make to, make more money or whatever it is. I feel like you're kind of like discovering a better way to do things or new ways of doing things. And that's what's probably going to be leading to success. Didn't I say this to you, Sagittarius, like a couple readings ago? It's almost like you're getting a break as well. If you haven't had a break or a vacation, or maybe you just need a day off, right? I feel like there's kind of like a day off that you need coming in for you. You have the Magician. Again, I feel like you've attracted some success very quickly into your life. So definitely, I love this reading. I love where it's going. With the Sun and the Justice card, you have the King of Wands. I kind of feel like this is just your energy. I feel like you're showing up in a very strong position, and it's putting you in a position of power and strength. So more signs of success. With the Two of Swords and the Four of Swords, you have the Seven of Wands. It's like once you know what you want in life, then you get it, right? So I really feel the whole entire reading is saying that you're much more kind of clear on your desires. But part of being clear on your desires is not letting, this creep into your life. I'm telling you, this person's creepy. It's like I think at first you might, the reason I'm stressing this is because I think at first you might be attracted to this person. It's like they say all the right things, they do the right things and all this other stuff, but there's something not right there. And you start to pick up on it. So trust your intuition. With the Magician, you have the Two of Swords again. So you're clearly attracting a new beginning for yourself. And I feel like it's going to be just like really good. A lot of good stuff coming in for you here. So that's what I would say. I would be careful, again, with that High Priestess, it doesn't have to be a Pisces. Like I said, it could just be a person. And I feel like it's a person who, it's like they say what they think you want to hear, or something like that. It's almost like they're just like a yes man, yes woman, whatever you want to call it. Don't care. Let's see, we're pulling 5 main themes. You have this Death card, big change coming in for you. It's because you're like demanding your worth. Next, you have this Conversations card. I feel like a lot of people could be wanting to communicate with you, especially in work or business. I think a lot of people are going to kind of like want to pick your brain. I really feel this is also saying that you need to like value your information, which I kind of feel like I said to you a couple weeks ago, Sag. It's almost like, if you're like a rising star in business, or if you're building a social media or something like that, I feel like you need to be careful like who you say yes to, like who you're willing to help and talk to. And I really feel you need to value your time. Next, you have this Cheerfulness card. A lot of happiness coming in for you, a lot of celebrations. I also feel like there could just be love in general coming in here. Next, you have this Scholar card. I feel like you've been learning a lot. The whole entire reading is basically saying that you are kind of practicing your lessons. Maybe that's like a good way to put it. I feel like that Queen of Swords is like, oh, okay, I learned all these lessons. Queen of Swords twice right here. Might as well put that card right there. Because it's really saying to me, and especially with going to the King of Swords, we could argue that you are going from the Queen of Swords to the King of Swords. It's like you are finally putting the things you've learned into practice. The King of Swords, I always say, is the difference between knowledge and wisdom. He has knowledge, but he also has wisdom. He's kind of put his knowledge into practice. He's used it, and I feel that for you. Finally, you have this Frivolity card. I'm kind of getting something here about like needing to not worry about certain things in life. I don't really have any good examples other than it's like YouTube. It's like I pretty much don't worry about trolls anymore like I used to. But, it's like if you want to be successful, the most successful people on YouTube, it's like, do they worry about trolls? No, they just completely ignore it, right? So I feel for a lot of you, like what I'm trying to say here is like I think there are certain things that you used to worry about. Doesn't have to be on YouTube. I'm just using that as an example. But it's like by not worrying about it, you're rising above it. And that's kind of, I feel like this is saying like make sure that you're engaging in things that are important, not just frivolous things, But that's what I get here, Sag. Pretty interesting reading. Watch out for this person, for sure. I don't like it. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. And definitely enjoy your week.